This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so the agenda of today's this training is what are the length function, what is the range operator in Python, and what are the functions.
Hello, sorry to interrupt you, but we are not able to see the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing screen. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Okay, so in the first session, I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so just we will take 10 minutes, 8 or 10 minutes to refresh the previous things. So we learned on day first what are the variable, what are the lists. So this is my online platform where we can run the code. You can use your own local installation or the online if you want to learn. Okay, we knew x equal to, if I want to write any name, this is Mahesh. Okay, so here x is my variable. Okay, x is representing this information, this piece of information, and it could be integer, means mathematical number or anything like that. So x is a variable here. Okay, x is a variable. X is a variable. Now, what are the lists? So while we do programming, we have to store many values, many variables in a one place. So for that we use list. Suppose I have to store name of fruits. Okay, so there is two way. Either fruit one is apple. However, fruits are not available easily now, but we can create variable easily. Orange. Okay, fruit 3 is banana. Okay, so we can create these variable, but what we can do, we can also create a list which would have all these variables there. Values will be there in a single place. How we create list? Round brackets. Okay, this, and here we can put our values. First value is apple, second value is orange, third value is banana. Okay, suppose I want to write the price or anything. Suppose this is 2020. The price of something is 10. Okay, anything I can keep. So whatever string we write, it is always in double quotes or single quotes. Okay, it could be single quotes also. Okay, here double quotes, here single quotes. Strings means alphabets, characters, or anything. When we type anything in integer, means mathematical information we want to deal with without quotes. Okay, so this is my list. This list contains 5 values: 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, we can store this list in a variable, suppose fruits. Okay, this fruits is my variable, and this variable point to me this list. This list has these many values. Okay, so this is a simple version. We don't have to create many variables, correct? different variable. So I can create only one variable and I can uh, use that list variable. Now you would say, how will I use that list? If I want to access some particular value out of that, how we can do that? So in a list, there is location. Okay, first value has a location 0 and subsequent locations are increased by 1. So the first element has 0 location, next has 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I want to say apple, then how will I will know that what place it is? So how can I give the location with the variable? With the variable name, I have to use this square bracket and I have to type the position number. Apple is at my position 0, right? So fruits 0, it means it is telling me the location of this value, apple. Okay. Now I want to print this. Okay. I want to print this fruits 0. Let's see. It won't print because it is just having the apple, but the apple I am not asking Python to print on the result or the console. Okay. So two ways are there. I can create one more variable, suppose x. Okay. So now x has what? X has the value of apple because fruits 0 telling me apple and apple values assigned to x, right? I can print the value of x. This is how I have to print on the console. I just need to type the variable name in the print. If I execute it, it will give me this value, apple. Okay. Another way, I am commenting this. Now this command will not run. Okay, hash means commenting. So I can directly also write fruits 0. I can also write this way. Okay, this is same thing. Fruits 0 will be executed first. It would have the value apple and this apple value passed to the print function, right? This value passed to print function, and print, what it does, it prints the value. So apple, I need to execute it. Okay, apple. I can type here apple1 so that you can see the change. Okay, this way also I can type this apple. So similarly, I can access another elements. Okay, so 2, 0, 1, 2. Second position, banana. Okay, so this was just a recap. Okay, let's move on. So we saw list variables day first. Second day we saw the installation of Python. I didn't go through the installation, but I saw in the presentation how we can install Python, how we can run the Python code. Okay, to run the Python code, we have to kind of cmd. If suppose I have some Python code, then I can run the Python and the Python name, the script name. Suppose uh, my program .py. Py is the extension of Python scripts. Okay, so this is how we can execute the program. Indentation. Indentation is uh, like when we run any command. So there is no role of indentation. It comes when we write any if or we define any block. Let me give you an example. If value of 10 is greater than 2, and this is, we know this is correct. So now I have to write something, okay? Print. This is true. Okay. So now indentation is this. This blank space which comes automatically here, and it come because this is Python interpreter. It knows if we run the command, we have to give the proper spacing. So this is the indentation, okay? So this will print me this command, right? Let me comment everything till here so that there is no confusion. Okay, triple quotes. I commented everything within this. Okay, so now we have just only these active lines in my code. Okay, this is true. I print. If suppose I want to write some other piece of line, how are you doing? Okay, okay. How are you doing? So these two lines are in same scope, or these two lines are in the scope of if command. Okay. Okay, suppose I don't want this in the scope of if, then what? I can do one thing. I don't use the same indentation. I come here. So the if block will terminate here. Okay. Just for your understanding purpose, if start from here and finishes here. In other programming language, we can see like this. Okay. Because of indentation. If I write something here like this, everything is in if block. Okay. But here we are outside the scope of if block. Okay, so this was the indentation. There is indentation for scoping purpose. Anyone wants have any question? Someone went on audio mode kind of. Okay, so what we learned next, indentation, we did some practice, then we saw if else operators and looping. This is what we covered, if else operators and loops. So if else were we saw the if we write some conditions like if x that is 1 is less than y that is 2, then print this. Okay, so these are kind of conditions. Else if this is not true, then what? Then print this thing. So we did some these kind of programs. We learned this. Okay, if location is auto shop, then print this. Else if this is not true, this command condition, then check this condition. If location is bank, then print this, or like that. Okay, so we learned the if else conditions, and we saw the operators. Okay, we saw how the arithmetic operators means plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus, exponential, floor, division. So all these equal, logical operators, and or not, all these we gone through. Okay, we can combine the conditions with and or. Okay, this you can see the previous two sessions available at Mahesh Kumawatji's YouTube channel. Link I have shared. So these were the operators we saw, and we went through the loops. Loops, where are the loops? Okay, so we learned for loop, while loop, all those kind of. Okay, so that we learned. So now we start today's session with today's agenda. Okay, I clean this up. Okay, so first we'll see what are the range function in Python. Okay, So while we were learning the loops, okay, we saw for I, what was the syntax? For I in, suppose I write here something, this is Python. Okay, so there are three elements, print I. Okay, or I would say not this, but then it won't make sense, this example. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this makes sense. I print this. What happens? This is for loop, looping which we have gone through. Just if someone can join the session, maybe here we can see again. So for loop, this is the structure. For the variable name, whatever you can write, x, abc, in, this is a part of syntax, and here we write the syntax, list. So now what happens, this for loop, I variable will get one by one values from this list, okay, sequentially. From one, first I will have the 1, and then I print this, it is 1. In second, when it will again loop, in second time it will get, I will get 2, then print 2, third 3, 4, 5. So I will keep getting the values from here one by one. Okay, so this is the very common requirement in Python, that we need some way, some better way, that we can generate the sequence of numbers. Okay, generators. Okay, range function. Okay, so this is my requirement. I cannot always use this list for these things. So what is the range? So now we know about the range function. So what range function does, it generates a sequence of numbers, okay, which helps me to perform, to get those values from the sequence of numbers, and I can use those in loops or wherever. Okay, so how the range function helps, let's see the syntax. So the syntax is range, and we have to define the first initial from where you want to start. Suppose you want to start from 1, and till what point you want to generate the number, suppose 11. So it means, this line means I want to get the numbers from 1 to 11. Remember, last number is excluding, it won't print. Okay, so it will only print 1 to 10. Okay, let's see, print. Okay, I can print this, right? Now I want to see whether it prints or not. Range 1 to 11. Okay. I hope this prints, but it won't. Okay, so when I run this command, it gives me range 1, 11. Okay, so it didn't give us what we needed. We needed a sequence of numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 10. But it didn't give. It gave me an object which is this range 1 to 11. Okay, so there is a slight difference. If you run the same command, so this is a Python 3 compiler. If you see here in this Python 3. Okay, now let's go to Python 2, Python version 2.7.13. Okay, if I run this same command in Python 2, let's see what happens. Okay, it gives me, oh, sorry, It gives me what I wanted. It gives me a list with the value from 1 to 10. Okay, the exactly same I wanted. But in Python 3, it is a slight different. So in Python 2, range operator was giving output a list. But in Python 3, range operator give an object this. Everything is an object. We will learn after many sessions what are objects. But everything is object. But in Python 3, range operator gives me a range operator when I print it. But you will see one interesting thing, okay, for I in. Let me remove that. I can refer this. But I do one thing here. This is a list, okay. Now let's use the same range here. Range 1 to 11, okay. I comment it. Okay. So now what I did, I use in place of list, I am giving it a range operator, range function, whatever you say. And we also call it a generator because it generates a sequence of numbers. Let's print this. This is working perfectly fine, right? When I wanted to print this, it didn't print anything list, right? It gives me range operator. So now we can say this is much improved version performance wise. So range operator does not store anything in memory. So it is very performance improvement. Earlier range function was generating a list which was stored in memory. So it was consuming memory, this list, but in Python 3, it gives me an object which takes hardly very little memory, but the output is directly consumed by the variable here, I. The output of this is consumed by in the loop, but it doesn't give anything in the memory. Okay, so if I want to print the range function, it doesn't show me anything because it doesn't store in memory like list, but same can be consumed in the loops. So that is the performance improvement. It doesn't consume memory. Okay, so we have seen that 1 to 10 it prints. Okay, we are good here. Now one more thing, if you don't give here the initial and the last number, so you can just give one number. If you give one number, then by default it starts with 0 until 10, but 10 is excluding, remember. Okay, let's see. So 0 by default it starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 9. 10 is excluding. Okay, now the last thing which you should know. So what I want, if I giving two numbers here, first is starting point, second number is the end point. If I give some difference, okay, that I doesn't want the result in a sequence wise 1, 2, 3. No, I want a gap of two numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, that way. So I here at the third number I give that difference. Okay, let's take it 1 now. 1 is by default, so it will print from 0, 1 to 9. Okay, from first number 1 to 9, and the gap is 1. If I change this gap, it will print me 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. If I give a gap of 3, it gives me 1, 4, 7. Okay, so this is minimum we should know. This is a range function. Now, one more thing. Here, range function was printing me the list, but here it doesn't print. Okay, when I want to print, it gives me a range operator, which can be consumed by the loops. It gives me a range operator. Okay, but how I can print the list? Suppose my requirement is, no, I want the list. Okay, so what we can do here, this range function, the output of this function we can give to list. Okay, so this will, my selection will return a range operator with 1 to 11, and this will be given to list. Okay, and when list will receive this range operator, it will create the list. Okay, so now this is compatible to Python version 2. Now it gives me the list from first number till last number, excluding the last number. Now suppose I want to extract a particular value out of that list. Suppose this. Okay, so how can I extract that? This is my first position, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth position. Okay, now position number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the same syntax we learned, round brackets, right? So because now this is giving me list, right? Now after list, I write that syntax number. Okay, execute. It gives me 5. Okay, if this is a little confusing, then I show you this way. X equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so if I wanted to print some position, then I have to define that position, right? X is a list. I want to see the fourth location from start with the 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it brings me 5. Okay, I make it 15 to see the difference. Okay, now the fourth position shows me 15. Now here also I am doing same thing. Okay, this X is showing me the list. Okay, means this portion, right? 2 round brackets here, 2 closed. So this list, what variable I want to extract? Fourth position. So I hope you can understand this now. Okay, anyone, any question till now? We move on to the next topic otherwise. Okay, looks everyone get this. Okay, now see a small thing next. What are the length function? Okay, so this is kind of tool, a function which we can use to see what is the length of an object or list. Okay, suppose I have a list, my list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I want to see the length of this. Okay, so the syntax is len length and it needs the name of object which you want to count. So I want my list length. Okay, let's execute this. Nothing will happen because it executed, but we didn't tell that this to be printed on the console, output console. So what I can give? I can give the output of length function to the print command. Okay, I give the execute. So what is the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the length of my list. Okay, so my name, let's take one string. Cyber security by Mahesh. I take this variable. So now let's do that other way. X equal to length function, and length, what length, which for which we want to calculate the length, my name. Okay, my name is a string whose length I want to calculate, and this length value came into X variable, and I can print the value of X, which has the length of this name, my name. Okay, so 24, these are 24 characters, and this list is of length 6. Okay, so this is the length function to calculate the length of a string or a list. Okay, as we progress, we will come to know later new things. Okay, so now let's start the functions. Give me a second. Okay, yep. Okay, so until now, any question in understanding of length function and range operator, or we are going good?
Good.
Okay, so that's enough. So let's see the functions. Okay, what are functions? So if I want to write any program, okay, either I do it my way, not following the best practices or clean code, anything. I just write what I need. I just want to do that. Okay, let's do something like that first. I want to print some command. Sorry, print some any name. Print hello. Hello, this is Python class. Okay, this is one way I create this program. Okay, this is working fine. But what can I do? I can also use a function to print the same stuff. Okay, this doesn't fit here, but just for the learning to understand, we all are new, so we can understand this way. To print this command in a better way, using functions which are we must use in our code so that we don't need to repeat our code again and again. Okay, so let's see the syntax of function. Function. Okay, so first def is the syntax. Def I have to write and then the name of function. Let's say my function. Okay, this is just the name of function. Parentheses I have to write. Okay, semicolon. So this thing you can write anything, rest is fixed. I hit enter, delete key so that it comes under the scope of this function, this line. Okay, so this is my function. I created a function, my underscore function. Okay, like someone says, okay, tell me what is this, what you have created. I have created a program in which there is a function, my underscore function, and that function job is to print one line, hello, this is Python class. Okay, let's run that. It didn't do anything, right? Because in function we have defined some code. Okay, this is the function. Function is something where you are keeping your code which need to be executed. Function has the code which need to be executed when someone call this function. Okay, my underscore function. So this is my function name. If someone call this, in other words, if someone execute this function, then only the piece of code under the scope of this function will be executed. Did I write anything here so that I am that says that yes, this my underscore function should be run? No, I didn't tell anywhere. Okay, now I tell how to execute the function. Very simple way. I just type the name of function and this thing, parentheses. Okay, let's see. Okay, now what happens? This line will execute the function this. Okay, and then whatever we have write in this function scope will be executed. Okay, suppose I execute, I change the something in the function. Okay, it's May 2020. Okay, I changed my function, I add some more line. Now what happens? This line is in the scope of the function, so both will print. Okay, so whatever I write in this scope, that will be executed. Okay, so how we create a function or define a function, we have seen. How to call a function, it means how to execute the function, we have seen. Okay, two things we have learned. Now second, what are the arguments? This is very common. Okay, common, you have heard maybe. What are the arguments and what are the parameters? Okay, so this I am calling a function. Sometime what happens, I created this function just to print, but maybe I need something, not just print, I have to calculate something. Okay, or I need, this function needs something from the calling function. Okay, some different values. Just see one example. I create this function, my underscore function, and here I am, here this function, here what I'm defining, that it expecting a variable name. Okay, this function, whenever I want to execute this function, I should pass, sorry, I should pass this value, okay, to that, because I have to use that value here. Okay, that's why This function is useful because I can use this function for different name, because now I have this function defined. I am executing this function here. Will this work if I run this? No, it won't run because I am calling the function, but this function when will be called, it says, oh, I need this also, but here I didn't provide anything, so it didn't work. It will give error. Okay, no problem. I give some value. Okay, let's see that. It is still not working because here it is expecting the string only. Okay, and string I always define in single or double quotes. Okay, let's see this now. Yep. Now I am calling this function, my function, and I passed this value to this variable which is required by the function, and this variable is being used inside the code, that is Mahesh Kumawat, right? Everywhere this is being used. So if I see here, it prints. I could give some blank one space here so that it look neat and clean. Okay, so this value is being used inside the function through this variable. Okay, so this is how I can now, wherever whatever we pass to the function here in the calling function, that is arguments. Okay, this is arguments. When the receiving function is receiving the value, it is parameter. Okay, name is a parameter. This value Mahesh Kumawat is an argument we are passing. Okay, so this is argument and parameter. Okay, can I give multiple arguments? Yes, I can give. I can give multiple arguments. Mahesh, I am giving 2 arguments now, but I have to receive 2 here, right? Initial name. What happened? It doesn't. Initial name, last name. Okay, I name, last name. In these 2 variable, I am receiving these values, and here I am using both the variable. Okay, okay, initial name, and so we are doing some mistake, looks like. Let's see. Mahesh Kumawat, I passed 2 arguments to this 2 variable. Okay, I need to pass here L name actually. Maybe you noticed. Okay, I have to pass because Kumawat is coming under L name. Okay, I missed that here. So L name, and same I have to use here. It gave error because I write name here, but name it doesn't know. This function doesn't know about name variable. It knows about I name and L name. Okay, so it should work. Okay. So how we create function, how we call the function, what are the arguments, how we pass it, how we use the parameter in function body. Okay. Now the same function I can call for multiple uses, right? Means the purpose of function is same, but I can use for different values, right? So that's the only purpose. Now I don't have to repeat my code. I just call the function and pass different value. Okay. Shrutikant, let's give an name, cyber security, anything we can give. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, I can call this same function multiple times, just giving different values. See, first 3 lines for Mahesh Kumawat, which we passed, then Shrutikant, and then cyber security. Okay, so the idea of the function is that we don't repeat the code. Okay, do not repeat your code. Maybe you see this term, not famous, but maybe if you see, then it is same. Do not repeat your code. So now I am not repeating my code. Okay, now you would say, no, I don't want to this. I want to print these 3 lines again and again and again. Then it is up to you. But this is best way. We can create the functions and we can pass the values to the function and we can call it multiple times whenever I want it. Even if you write some other code, you can just use that function there also. Okay, it makes our code less space, otherwise it would become very big, right? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I make something else. Functions using list. Okay, so now I create one function name. I need to comment it. Okay, my fun. Okay, I am giving here some variable. The variable name is food. Okay, colon, which is the syntax of the Python, and here I will just, for time being, I will execute food. Okay, now this is my function and I want to call this function my underscore fruit, my fun, and what I have to pass as an argument, a list, right? So either just I killed one mosquito. Okay, so here I can pass one list here. Okay, this way. Apple. Let's take two argument, two elements, or maybe 3. Banana. Okay, I calling this function my fun, and I'm passing a list. Okay, and this food will receive this list with 3 elements, and here I am printing the list. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so I hope this is very clear till now what we are doing here. As an argument, I am just passing a list. Okay, now it would not look good to you, so you can do one thing. Fruits rather, you can create this list separately. Okay, So now fruits is my list, and when I am calling this function, I am just passing the fruits. Okay, maybe it makes more sense. These two lines we can combine in one line this way. So what we did here, I just pass this variable, whatever it has, maybe a name or a list, anything. And this I am passing here. Okay, I'm printing that. We know that this is a list, okay, but I want to print the name individually. So what can I do in function? I can call for loop, okay, for x. This is a syntax in list. What is list here? Means variable list colon, okay, it is a syntax. See, now remember this print command is under the scope of for, okay, for scope, because this is the indentation, okay, food, and I am printing the value of food here, okay. Now fruits is in the scope of definition. No, it is at the same line, right? It is not. For is in the scope of definition. Remember one thing, if you don't know, means don't work as per the scoping, your code will give error, or you don't know how it will behave, okay. So we must know the scoping. Definition is have no indentation, it's just start from the first this position. For comes under the scope of def, and this print under the scope of for. Okay, so let's print that. Okay, so now what it did, anyone has confusion here, what, why this happened? Let's print it 3 times.
Yes.
Yes sir. So anyone thinks, yeah, this is correct and it makes sense? Okay, so what is happening here, let's do little post-mortem, nothing much here. So fruits has 3 elements, this list, and I am passing this list to the function, okay. This food has what? This food has, just to make it more simpler, these 3 things: apple, orange and banana, okay. Now this is food is again the same list, right? For x will receive what? Apple in the first time print command will run. Second time x will have the orange. Now again when it comes to for this line again, it will have the banana. But see, here we are not printing the x in the print command. Again and again I am printing the list, right? And food is the list. So again and again it is printing the list, this list, because food has this list. If I print the value of x here, then it will print what? Each element individually, right? It will pick apple from x and then will print the x, that is apple, okay. Second time, when again it goes after print command, it goes back to the for line again, it will get orange. Again print command will come and x has the orange, it will print the orange. Again similarly for banana, x will get the banana, print command will print banana. Okay, so this is clear.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like in functions I can do a lot of things, right? Even I can write my complete code and I can call that function, right? If I want to pass anything, I can pass those values to the function. Okay, this is how we can pass the list and we can execute that. Okay, let's see some more program. Okay, so what is happening here that we learned how to create functions, how to call functions, how to pass arguments or list, and how to use those parameters in the function body. Okay, now I created this function. Suppose I want to return something from the function to the calling function. Okay, this my underscore fun call this, it will execute process and will send the result to this. Okay, if that we require, how we can do that? Okay, let's create one function. Def my function. Okay, let's, it is receiving x, some variable. Okay, print x. I'm calling my f with some value 10. Okay, so pretty simple, which we have already seen. Passing 10, it is printing 10. Okay, 10. Okay, no, nothing new in this. Suppose I want to multiply whatever I'm receiving as an input, I want to multiply with 10 and then want to print. Yeah, it receives 10 and printing 10, x is 10, 10 multiply 10, 100. Okay, output is 100 here. Okay, now suppose so how it is working? Okay, everything is happening here only in the function it printed, and here program ended. What if I want to return the result of this function, whatever we have write to the calling function? Then how we do that? Okay, so how we can do that? It means I don't want to print the result in within the function, but I want to return the result of the function to the calling function. Who is calling me? I'm giving it the result. This statement is calling the function, so this should receive the result of this function. I don't want to print it within the function. Okay, suppose result. Okay, now this result is a variable which has x is 10, 10 multiplied 10, 100. Okay, so what is the value of result now? 100. Okay, now I want to send the value of result to my f, this calling function. The syntax is return, okay, return result. Okay, I'm returning the result. Result is what? This variable which has a value of 100. Okay, let's see this. Nothing happened. So what happened? I return the result variable to this function, but did I process that result? No. Here I just call the function, but I don't know what I do with that result. I didn't do anything. Okay, let's do one thing. Why? Okay, I am calling this function, and whatever the result it has, I am assigning it to y. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, let's see. Again, it is not printing because I haven't given the command to print the y. Okay, let's see now. 100. Yeah, now it makes sense. So this function processed, and the value which I want to return is in the result variable. Result variable I return to this. Now in the place of this, the value is 100, and this 100 is assigned to y, and the value of y I am printing in the print command. Okay, so this is understood. I hope this is clear. Oh, I I click save Control S and then it goes to this login page. Okay, so I hope this is clear to everyone and no confusion. If anyone has confusion, please let me know. We can see if we can do something with that. Okay, so let's make one last program of today's session. It go little more smoother. I thought it would take little longer, but looks like we are before the what the time. Okay, so let's create one function where I want to see a number is even or odd. Okay, let's just create the logic first. Okay, x equal to, I have some number. Okay, so x, this number is even or odd. We know this is an even number, but how we can check? If we divide this number by 2 and the remainder is 0, then it is an even number. This is a logic. Okay, x divide by 2 and the remainder modulus. This is a modulus operator. Okay, what it means, the remainder, when x will be divided by 2 and what is the remainder. Okay, so let's make it more simpler. If I divide x by 2, then what is the remainder? It comes in y, and I want to see what is this. 0. Okay, so when I dividing this number by 2, the remainder is 0, so it is a even number, right? Y is even number. I cannot write like this. I have to like this. Okay, this way. 0 is even number. Okay, I should write here x. 10 is even number. But is this really a program? No, this is something we just build the even not the logic. Just we saw the concept. Yeah, this is how we can check the number. Okay, but this number could be anything, right? In x, it could be dynamic number. It could be 11, 12, anything. If I write 11, then see, it is not working because I'm just printing this fixed command. It will always work. So this doesn't make sense. Okay, but we know the logic, this. So let's do one thing. Okay, now I need to check some way. If y is 0, then only I will print the x number is even. Okay, so let's make if condition. If this value of y is 0, okay, then only print X is a even number, right? Let's see this now. Okay, Y would be 0, can divide by 2. So it is gone inside this statement. I change the value to 11. It didn't print anything because it didn't go inside the if condition, right? Okay, so we are good till here. Or I can do else print X is odd number. Okay, otherwise if Y is not 0, then print otherwise X is odd number. Okay, this is my logic. Now logic is perfect. Okay, this is one more thing, that this statement X percentage 2 we can also write in place of X, right? This way I comment it. So I can do this way also. X is 11, this will execute first, result will compare against 0. Okay, this should also work. Odd number, let's make it 12. Execute. Okay, 12 is even number. So now this logic is working fine. You can do anyway. Suppose I remove it. Okay, now I cannot do like I again and again change the number, so it won't work that way. Okay, let's create some function. Okay, how I create the function? Def, okay, even, odd. What it will receive? It will receive a number which I need to be checked in the code. I need to define, this should be in the scope of def. Okay, so I did moved the content the right side. So now this is my function body, which is checking X is even or odd. Okay, now I am calling the function and passing this value 10 here directly, or maybe you can pass X here and X is defined 12. Okay, so this should work. Now we have created a function to check even or odd number. I'm calling the function and can pass values as per my choice. Okay, 12. So now I don't need to make any change. Just here I'm changing the values, right? Or I can do this also. Now I have this facility. Okay, I can call it multiple times function this way. Okay, I'm calling this function with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's see. See, 10 is an even number, 11 is an odd number, 12 is an even number, odd number, even number. Okay, so function I can call multiple times. I do not repeat the code now with different values. So this was the even odd function. Okay. Okay, so this was the today's agenda. Let me see how I can stop the recording first.